What's up, guys? Welcome to Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm meeting for the first time ever Rad Seller. I do consider her one of my favorite internet friends, but it's nice to actually meet people in person. I think it's a little bit awkward when you show up and people know you, but you don't know them. And
it didn't feel that way. It didn't with us, because I feel like we've talked so much that we knew each other already.
yeah, I think we're pretty much on a hug first basis because we've been talking for so long. But it is interesting. How do you transition your internet friends and regular friends when it comes to reselling? Do you share ideas and strategies?
I don't have I'd say I don't have a lot of close relationships. So us is a special case. There's a lot of acquaintances, so we've shared a lot of ideas.
Today I want to talk about how we balance a lot of different balls. Gina and I have done a video before where we talk about different ways we balance our lives. Most people are very busy, so reselling is just one part of their life. And I think it's important to recognize that you kind of need a decent schedule if you're going to fit it all in. Trying to balance, staying in shape, eating right, a career is something that a lot of resellers do. So maybe, Gina, you can share some ideas that have worked well for you for managing your day.
Okay. They actually had a session earlier where they were talking about it, and it's a lot of, they said a lot of things that I personally do, where you kind of have to plan out your day ahead of time, especially with kids, because when you have that free moment away from your kids, maybe they're napping, maybe they're at school, if you haven't already planned what you're going to do, then you won't do anything. If you're just okay, now I'm free, what should I get done today? You're going to waste half the day. So usually I make a checklist of this is what I need to get done this week, this is what I need to get done each day, and try to get half of it done and be happy with that.
Are you a morning planner or a day before planner, weekly planner?
I'll plan for the week and then kind of plan day by day. But I work on the weekends, so when I'm at work on the weekends, I feel like I'm so tied up with work, can't do anything at home, and it makes me feel better to start making these lists while I'm working over the weekend of I'm going to hit the ground running when I'm off and get all this stuff done. And so, but then I kind of plan it out day by day, because every single day there's doctor's appointments, my son has therapy appointments, I have doctor's appointments, I have parent-teacher conferences, and so I kind of have, those are part of the checklist where I'm going to work around those things, and so I kind of plan the week and then plan day by day, and I think you can get more done than just kind of winging it.
Emily, how do you manage your day?
So for me, just recently a college grad, it is October. I just graduated in May. And for me, I think that really helped. I've always had a hefty course load, at least 15 credit hours. And for me to be able to allot my time in places where I needed it, for me, reselling gave me the power to not only work on my own schedule. I studied biology, chemistry, a pre-med degree, and being able to say, okay, I can't really put in as much time today as I needed to because I have a huge exam tomorrow. I had the power to do that instead of if I had a actual job where I had to tell myself, well, I'm now going to screw myself by saying I'm not studying for this exam and I'm going to wing it. And I could make up for working, taking my time to source or list things and do it on another day. But same thing, I had to plan and I had to write things down, and it was the night before. For myself personally, I have ADHD, and if I do not give myself a schedule, I am so lost. And I am not productive. I will not get things done. And it makes sense. You don't have to be completely organized. For me, I sometimes live in an organized mess. If you've got your ish together to a certain extent, I think that says a lot. But I think writing it down, at least for me, writing it down on paper. I wrote it down on my mirror too, having what I was going to do and giving myself a set amount of time. And if I ran over on time, then I knew I wasn't being efficient with what I was doing in that hour that I gave myself. So
I think that we've met we've met probably 10 people already so far at Posh Fest, and really everyone is a huge mess, and I think that is real. Like, when you look at regular people and how they try to manage their schedule, it doesn't look like how it does on social media. It really is exhausting trying to put this all together, but I'm the same way. If I don't have it written down, and I have to check it in the morning, the night before, and if you can so easily get distracted and lose 15, 20 minutes, or even an hour if you're not paying attention. So being intentional is so difficult. Do you guys have any other final thoughts on balancing it all?
I do. I try to make, when I write, because we're kind of stuck on that, like making an actual list, whether it's writing it down, putting it in your phone, I try to make it realistic. So instead of doing all of the laundry in the house, because I will kind of make two lists together. One is a reselling to-do list, and one is a personal, at-home, mom type of to-do list. And it'll be like, instead of doing all the laundry in the house, do one load of laundry to completion, folded, put away, hung up. And then instead of photographing 100 items, photograph 20 items and measure them. And so I try to make a realistic list where it's not like do everything and get everything done, and then at the end of the day you didn't, and then you feel like you suck. So I think just make a realistic to-do list and then try to be intentional and get it done.
So what do you do when you don't knock something out? How do you approach it the next day?
It just rolls over into the next day's list. Chris, you know me, like I try not to beat myself up about it, because like I mean probably there's always things left on my to-do list. There always is. And I just roll those things over into the next to-do list. If I've crossed some things off on the list, it feels good. And so I try to be happy with that.
Gina is really inspiring to me because she just figures it out. She does FBA, she has a job, she has multiple kids. There's just so much stuff to do, but she just does it. And I think that most of reselling doesn't require very much other than just doing it. You figure out Amazon FBA by sending in a few shipments. You figure out eBay by just looking either on Instagram, looking in the reselling community for what people are selling, or you start with stuff around the house. Poshmark is great because you can just recycle stuff that's in your closet. You don't have to spend a whole bunch of money. Reselling is also flexible with schedule. You can do it as a student, as a mom. It's not BS, it's not multi-level marketing or a pyramid scheme where you have to recruit your friends into it. It's just straight up buy low, sell high. So very cool. Thank you, Gina, so much for your time. Emily, thank you again.
Thanks,
and
guys.
We'll see you guys next. Oh yeah, before we go, Gina, where can people find you? Emily, where can people find you?
Rad Seller on Instagram and Rad Seller on YouTube and Rad_Seller on Poshmark.
Miss Emily Britt on Instagram, Emily Britt on YouTube, and Britt M17 on Poshmark.
All right, guys, I'm Daily Refinement on all those platforms. Take care, guys. Thank you, Gina.